Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone, wherever you might be watching us this moment. I will enjoy you as you join us. Please kindly hit the like buttons, share, and subscribe to this channel. As we are going to host a special guest this evening to deliberate on very important silent issues that put us on social, political, and economic sphere within the Nigerian state. It is of utmost importance that you give us your attention and as well express your own opinion via the comment section. We're glad to have every one of us join this moment while I invite the guests with us just in a moment. Just keep joining us. Yes, I believe the guest is around, and in just a matter of few seconds, let's wait for more people to join us, and then we are to invite the guest that is, of course, have signaled his presence here. We are to discuss about is Nigeria plagued by the incessant insecurity paralyzing the entire regions of this country? What is the impact of corruption and poverty as Nigeria stands today? And of course, we shall also be looking, having an overall perspective on the judicial system and its impact on justice. Yes, we will do that partly. We are back uh, for this discussion this evening. Most recent, we've heard about the happenings within the Nigerian states. It is no longer a news or issue of controversy that Nigeria is in the state of disarray. And with the impact of these negative happenings, Nigeria perhaps may not recover herself or redefine its place in the Committee of Nations. Now we are proposing solutions. What could be the way out of it? But then we must identify the problems and see, if possible, we can resolve the same problem. But it all boils down on the people's willingness or readiness or sincerity to address this making up their minds to get things done. But not until this is done, of course, Nigeria will not save itself from the looming catastrophe that is just around the corner. Definitely. crave your indulgence as more persons joins us this moment. Hope you are getting us. Kindly hit the like buttons while I'll invite the speaker here, who will definitely. Okay. Hope you can hear me. I want others to join us more as we deliberate on this important subject of discuss today. The guest analyst is no other person but a very young man, a very excellent personality, of course, an authority in political science. He will be joining us all the way from South Africa. We'll get to know his own perspective on the happenings within the Nigerian state and the public perception of Nigeria and the current happenings within the Nigerian state as it stands today. There have been so many uh, abnormalities or inconsistencies in terms of the rights of the citizens to life, to security of their lives and properties as well, which has been greatly compromised. Even the security chiefs have admitted the fact that solving the issue of insecurity in Nigeria is not just the business of the military, but more than 75% lies, of course, within the executive or those saddled with the responsibility of running the affairs of Nigeria on a daily basis. Well, we are going to invite, hope you are hearing me, we're going to invite the guest analyst now, who will definitely join us for this program. I'm just waiting here to signal again. Please, you can get the signal immediately so that I will join you to follow up with this discussion. Okay, I think we are good to go as I wait the guest analyst to join us. It's Nigeria Plague. Okay, thank you. All right, we're, we're getting set.
Oh, okay. I think I'm
Okay.
live.
Well, that is fantastic. It's a great pleasure having you, Mr. Effiong Philip or Samuel Effiong. How are you doing today? How are you doing? I hope we'll be able to get the audio set. It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Samuel Effiong. How are you doing today?
Yeah, can you hear me, Mr. Chinedu?
Yes, I can
Mr.
hear
Chibuzi?
you very clear now. Yes.
Okay, but I think the audio, I don't know, maybe it's from your end or my end. Let me see. Maybe I change to different Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I
Um,
can hear you very clear now. I
okay, I
hope the
think it's a little
audience.
bit better.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Can we can we yes, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me as well? Can you hear my voice? Please, I want confirmation if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Nigerian network because I've joined so many sessions. Yeah, it's sounding somehow. Um, Let me see.
Okay,
Maybe
okay. I hope it's better
yeah.
now. I hope it's better now. Yes.
Okay. You know what? Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see. Maybe I should leave.
Okay. It's time to get a perfect audio so that the audience will benefit from this discussion this day. Yes, and we are committed to ensuring that everything is set because we're going to have a very
Okay,
interesting
I
moment
think it's
together.
better now.
That is fantastic. Okay, straight to the point. Let's have you introduce yourself. Can we know you? Can the audience know you once again? Yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We can get on with this. Yeah. Can you please introduce yourself?
Is the network okay? Can you hear me clearly? So I'll be
Yes,
sure.
yes, 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 yes. Yes, I do. Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, so my name is okay Samuel Effion. So and I'm currently on the Mauritius Island doing a research work. I left. I mean,
Wow, that is okay.
okay. I think it's better now. Did you switch to a different Wi-Fi, Mr. Chiguzi?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Okay, it's better now.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, you have the floor. Let's have your perspective about opinions or about the happenings within the Nigerian state. What is your general perspective?
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Because the network is a little. Do I? Yeah, I heard some of the things, but I don't think I was able to hear the other part. You were talking about the perspective and what and the opinions about what.
Yes, I want to have your general opinion about the state of Nigeria today. You know, first, before your travel, and currently, perhaps you may have been receiving some information on the happenings within the Nigeria. So, what is your opinion about the current state of the nation today?
Well, the nation is where most people think it's not the right place the nation should be. But the truth still remains that the nation actually is where it's supposed to be because a country cannot grow beyond the intellectual capacity, beyond the intellectual know how of the people in governance. A student who is not an A class student cannot have A in an exam or probably win an international scholarship, not because he doesn't want to win, but because his intellect. Oh, I think the network is really disturbing. I don't
It's
know if you
okay.
can hear
Let's
me now.
Yes, yes. Get on. with the discussion. Let's get on with the discussion.
So a student who is not an A class student, meaning a student that is not brilliant, should not be expected to score an A. Not because everybody want to have A in the class. To have A is not the nation.
Please kindly hit the like buttons as you join us so that others will get to join us in this discussion. How we request the fluctuation of network, but then we are used to that. It's something beyond our control, but then we are committed to do whatever we can to make sure that this interaction is a very interesting one. Just in a moment, the guests will join us, will join us. Okay.
Oh, I think, yeah, I don't know if the network is.
Yeah, you can go ahead with that.
So,
Uh,
okay, I think, can you hear me now?
yes, quite clear. Yes, I do. Quite clear, very clear.
Is it better now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think it's showing that I'm live.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. It's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. I do.
Uh,
Yes, go
I
ahead,
don't know
go
what.
ahead, go ahead.
Okay, the
Go ahead,
network
go ahead.
is on and off. So, as I was saying, an A student cannot, a student whose intellectual ability cannot score A cannot have A in an exam. So, the leadership of Nigeria exemplified their know-how in the leadership pattern. And that is why when you compare Nigeria to some other countries, even in Africa, no, don't even go far to Europe, even in Asia, as where we were from 1960 to 1970 to 1980, take example, the likes of Dubai, take example, the likes of Singapore, take example, the likes of Malaysia, just take example, the like of Namibia here in Africa. Check the
Mm.
likes of even Egypt, some African countries, Mauritius, Seychelles. I've been to about some of these countries on the land. I've done directly or indirectly some research. So a country cannot be better than the intellectual capacity of its leaders. So when you debate about certain countries, all you need to do is forget your population size. You can be very populated and your economy is in shambles, your security is in shambles. There are small islands that are more better off. They have good electricity pipe, pump water, good road, good. So you're now making noise. Your population is just like you born plenty children, no one go university. You can't say I born plenty children. As useless as nothing. It has no meaning. It has no economic importance. You die in penury. So the Nigerian condition is an expected state. It's not new to me. For those who knows me back as far as 2015 in my university days, I do tell my classmates, I said, nothing good is coming out from this system. And they forced themselves 10 years ago to now started resonating with the statement we've written, we've told them, you can't reap where you did not sow. It is what you reap, you're going to sow. So I'm reading a comment from, is it Paul X, Paul, why don't you guys go and engage agitation at you own state? I don't know what it.
Wow, that is quite interesting.
Oh, the network is really wonderful. It's on and off. So if you're talking about nation building, let me just check a chat. Most times I don't reply to chat in most of the comments I do online, because if such persons is knowledgeable enough or probably have the crowd, they should also go to TV station and also grant articles and interviews and exemplify their level of intellect in public space. So if you're talking about nation building, is irrespective of statehood. There's nothing any state can do without the federally controlled system, which influences how. So those are the basis of the Nigerian philosophical underpinnings of the federating, so-called federating system. And that is why you can see the jamboree they did about the tax reforms. We know it was a jamboree and it will not end anywhere. They went back to the status quo. And what did they do? They went back to the point of derivation, population, and all those nonsense that has not been read or seen anywhere in any federalism in the world. Nigeria operates its own federalism that is not even making sense with the propagators of the concept of federalism. So then you now expect that anything different would come out from such a system. You're just deceiving yourself. So the bitter truth still is based on the fact that you cannot expect something from nothing. The system is the way it is because that is the best that the people can get from their leader.
Now, the best that people can get, unfortunately today, Nigerians are wailing and crying because of the mismanagement and poor governance. Now, what could we attribute to the reason why, in the midst of so many intellectuals, just like you, who decided to leave to abscond from Nigeria because you have seen ahead of time that there is no future for this country. We have intellectuals, accomplished scholars in different fields of endeavors, excelling across different parts of the world. Why is it that Nigeria is plagued despite turning out intellectuals? We have professors, but yet the system of governance or selective of those who should be among the corridor of power do not favor those who perhaps has the intellectual capacity to turn things around.
Well, I think I get your question, even with the fact that king an eagle that stays around and walk with a poultry chicken one day will start behaving like the poultry chicken and probably would even forget the ability of flying and roaring far in the sky. And same thing is applicable to the Nigerian state. There is a level you get to in terms of your intellectual acquisition. And you look at the system, you look at what you stand for, you look at the future, you are very realistic to yourself as an individual. I'm not talking about bandwagon effect. As an individual, let me say one of the quotes from one of my favorite lecturer, Obafemi Awolowo University, those days, Department of Political Science. Her name is, as a then she was a doctor, Kike Lomo Mbada. She said, and I held that words very well from my undergraduate days, that on an individual basis of analysis, has the country done so well for you and your family? Have you seen a future for yourself and that of your unborn kids? Or if you have children, your growing kids? When she asked that question in that class, that was just the election that was supposed to take place between President Muhammadu Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan. And I looked at the country and I looked at that question. You won't believe after we left university, because that was when we were rounding up, the woman left. She's currently in the UK as a lecturer. The husband, who happens to be a medical, was in the medical field, also a lecturer as a then, they all left. From that class, I already knew that this woman, as a doctor, I think they have 4 kids or 5 as a then, and the husband, they were already moving out. Because the question was obvious to the visible, except for those who don't have the foresight to think ahead. And that was when I was in my final year. So I've already, if my mentors and leaders have checked the system critically and I've come to a conclusion, she wasn't saying you should run. No. She asked a very simple question and she said, on your own basis, Be sincere to yourself. And I sat down, I checked her kids, I checked the woman, I checked the husband, and I looked at myself. These are PhD holders.
Oh, I hope this network will spare us some time. Of course, it's an interesting moment, honestly. Interaction here. Please, while you join us, kindly hit the like buttons so that others will join us more. The YouTube algorithm can push this to other audience who will be interested to get us and interact in this course of discussion. This is quite disturbing, the state of network interruptions, but we can get
Oh,
on with
okay.
that. Right on, please.
Okay, so now, as at that point in time, I was trying to tell you that when I got a clear picture of the kind of state Nigeria is.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think we're back. So after saying that, on an individual basis, what do
Hmm.
you see for Nigeria? And then we were doing a course. I've forgotten the course she was taking us at that point in time. So she taught us something about critical thinking. Critical thinking is irrespective of your course of study. How critical are you in answering questions that are both economical, truthful, religious, or even in your personal life? Without anybody being there, how deep are your thoughts? So when she asked that question in that class, I made up my mind. I knew that this woman, she's going to leave the country. I knew that this woman with her husband, I'm cooking up something. And I think the husband was an associate professor or professor. I don't even know how. But the last time I got to check on LinkedIn with the family and the 5 kids, they are in the UK. So before then, from that class, I've already picked the lesson I wanted to pick and I held it down to my hand. That this woman is indirectly telling you that look at the country, there's no hope. You don't need anybody to tell you. Because she's older than me. If she can be saying that, a PhD holder that was lecturing, has at that state of education and exposure, she has traveled to some countries, either as a visiting lecturer or whatever, can come and tell you, look at the country very well for yourself and your children. On an individual basis, this is not bandwagon. Hey, election don't come, vote Atiku Obi. It's not about Obi. It's not about Atiku. Peter Obi has never even contested as at then. It was Jonathan and Buhari. She was so blunt that she said, look at the leaders. Listen to them. What is their level of what they are putting out for you to consume?
Hmm.
As at that time when we are trying to have debate in Nigeria, we've had the likes of Obama coming up and dusting up debate internationally, telling you what you need to. You don't need somebody to tell you that there are nations that have gotten some set of leader they will grow. You don't even need Bible to say it. You can deceive yourself as long as you want. But as at then, we saw where Nigeria was moving on. We saw the kind of leaders that was coming, and that was the election that brought in President Muhammadu Buhari. So, was I really expecting anything? No, I wasn't. Was I really disappointed? No. Am I surprised? No. No, I'm not. So when you now live in that kind of condition, you check how things are done, you would speak to yourself. People would rather take caregiver jobs in Nigeria than working in certain, I mean, in UK than these are people that sometimes you need sanity in order to have long life. You need an environment that will give you long life and prosperity, not even about money.
Now, could we
An
blame
environment
this?
whereby you sleep, you close your eye and sleep with your two eyes closed. An environment where when you get to court, you can almost predict the £100 or £10 or 20. You don't debate because the line is clear. Not the one they will catch you, they leave the other man beside you, just like your, I mean, you know what we used to experience back then in Ikeja. So, an environment where sanity prevails. An environment whereby you see the kids growing, they start having hope, they see electricity. Not that they took off the light and up there, like some people that are still in the primitive era where you use stone to scratch light. So you don't even need someone to start telling you that you don't even need to be an intellectual or to be a professor or doctor before you start finding your way out. You don't need to. You just need to look for a better life somewhere. Because how many years we won't live on earth? If the Bible says I'm a Christian, the Bible says 3 square and 10, which is 70. So how many years have most Nigerians spent struggling from hand to mouth and with bad road, insecurity, bad governance, ethnicity, bigotry, corruption, stealing, no lights, no water, no 70%, 80% of Nigeria lives in abject poverty. Even the middle class are still struggling. So when you read some things on the media, so you don't need anybody to tell you. And that is the bitter reality. So you just need superior wisdom and thinking to say, man, I can't continue like this.
Yes, you are
It's
quite
not
right
no go on.
by your own perspective. Then, uh, would that be the only solution? Uh, Leaving the shores of this country, abandoning the state for the post criminals, people who has no intention of bettering the lot of the citizens. They are only interested in their personal interests against the collective interest or improving the life of the citizens. You also have your loved ones back down here, back home. Of course, would you be feeling very sorry what they are passing through on daily basis? As it stands today, Nigerians are passing through the most or the worst difficult times in the last 40 years in terms of insecurity, poverty, famine, and the list is endless. There are no medical facilities, there is no healthcare system. The schools are, of course, in the state of moribund. Very unfortunate. Now, how do we address this? We have identified the issue, the problem. Do we start by fixing this judicial system, which people do say that is the hope of a common man, but unfortunately, they have disappointed Nigerians. Hope you get my question clear. What is the
Yeah,
place
you're
of
talking about fixing the system. If we,
judiciary in solving the problems? It seems the failure of the judiciary, they have been greatly compromised, has led to this state of distortive state we found ourselves within the Nigerian state.
Mr. Chiguzi, let me be frank with you. As manner would it's simple, but I want to also correct the impression that the judiciary is not the problem of Nigeria or the major problem. It's just one among the multifaceted nature of the problem. I tutored or mentored a set of students, and just last, I think that was around September, October last year, on a course in one of the schools I tutor. So, and the assignment I give them in Nigeria, I mean, those are some of the things most of us diaspora do. We do online conversations, engage people, help sponsor so many things. Some of us we are really at the forefront to make sure that daily to me is out. So we might not be in Nigeria. If we are in Nigeria, maybe they would have arrested somebody like me by now. So which I think you know. So we did quite a lot. We are still doing more. So and sometimes we do come. There's symposiums I need to attend. I think this year, later in the year. So I'll be in Nigeria. So Nigeria is our country and we love Nigeria. So that's the truth. If you don't love Nigeria, what's my business? I'll be doing my personal stuff because nobody in Nigeria is feeding me. It's all personal. So when people in diaspora talk about Nigeria, it's for love, not because they are affected there. No, I can decide to. The six of them are not in Nigeria. Even their cousin, about 3 or 4 of them, they packed everybody. The only people that I probably in Nigeria know that is related to that particular is distant relative that are not close to them. Their direct family, 6 of them, 3 is in the US, 3 is in Canada. They are my very close friend. All of them, they said they are going to leave Nigeria. They are all married. None of them, both their wives and kids, are in Nigeria. They are the relation that is even close to that. But 3, I think the last one now is trying to move to, I think, UK. Everybody. So, but yet, guys contribute to Nigerian conversations. They call on almost all the. In fact, they have internet to watch all the old TV stations from channels to arrive. Than even so many people living in Nigeria. So that they are not in Nigeria does not mean, even though, I mean, about 2 of them has the Canadian passport as I speak now, and all their kids were given birth to in Canada, and the others in the US. So, but yet they still contribute. They talk. There is no donation. There is no charity. There's nothing they don't contribute to. So that they are not in Nigeria doesn't mean they are not saying everybody should travel. We're not saying everybody should travel. We're saying that on an individual basis, if you have the might, you can go. But for those, and for those who don't have the mind to travel, like while we were in Nigeria, every day we come out to the bus stop, we contribute our own quota to newspaper reviews and national discourse. Some people will pass and they'll be looking at you as if you're doing something strange. You know, consign me. Some don't come out to vote during election. They don't know their local government chairman. Some don't know their councillor. They don't know their House of Rep member. They don't know their House of Assembly member. Some people don't even know the name of some governors in Nigeria. They don't know when budget is out. They don't know the amount. So the level of ignorance and illiteracy is so much, and that is what the leaders are capitalizing on. And poverty is so much that when they give them a cup of garri. So the issues is not just about the judiciary. That's what I'm trying to say. The issue is so much that, and the leaders are smart enough to use of divide and illiteracy and ignorance. Look at the last election that happened in Lagos. Is that an election? That was just a masquerade display of stupidity and hopelessness in public display. You were fighting a certain set of people that they want to vote against certain set of people in somewhere, and you matched some lady. I mean, watch YouTube. You just smile. Check Twitter, the social media. So you now see that it is not even about the judiciary. That's what I'm trying to say. The first area that of strength should be from the electoral system, electoral reforms. INEC is the major problem to start with, not even the judiciary. Some issues that are getting to the judiciary wouldn't have gotten there if the umpire is fair, realistic, reasonable, and stands by the rule of the game. But what do we get? And poverty. So the system intentionally kept the citizens out from reality with church, using poverty and hunger as a tool to suppress them. There was an I was following up the election in Ghana because we have interest in Ghana. I have quite a number of friends who were contesting. Check the elections. Did you see that someone was matched? Somebody was told you are from Chase speaking part of Ghana. Don't speak. I am from Ashanti. I am from. No. So it shows you that some countries in Africa, even in West Africa, are getting it right. And that is why when Obama visited out of the countries, did he visit Nigeria? No. He just stopped over in Ghana and went back. So when you now check, you will notice that it's not just about judiciary. There's an endemic problem that needs to be unbundled from the electoral system to the people's thinking mentality to poverty, because a people that are poor will be poor in thinking. There's a connection between economic well-being and electoral and democratic engagement or enlightenment. There's a connection. When you check societies, the economic is more sustaining. Check the voting pattern. Even if there will be corruption, even if there will be manipulation, it's extremely very low. So
Yeah,
it's
I
not just
quite
about
agree
the.
with you.
I see people. Let me even summarize. My student came up with a finding from judges of courts in Nigeria to Supreme Court, from Supreme Court level to appeal court to federal judges, because it was a closed door group conversation, and some of them do not want to disclose their name. Maybe I'll send you the report. I wept when I saw the report. Judges were confiding on those students that there is nothing you can do. The judge and the lawyers or the judiciary are part of the system. Politicians appoint them or select them to any position. So you expect them
Exactly.
to now go there and now act as if they are not part of the system. In fact, some judges say even in cases that is glaring that they are supposed to dispense justice in a particular direction, the political influence is so much that if you're not careful, they wipe out your family. They don't
Yeah.
hide it. Look at the charade that is happening in Lagos with the speaker of the Lagos. I was just laughing at somebody in one of the groups we are with quite a number of notable personnel in Lagos and outside the country. And somebody said, the speaker of Obasa right, practice in the Supreme Court. And another person said, when the power that be want to say that you actually practice in the Supreme Court, so be it. If the same power that be want to prove beyond reasonable that you did not even go to law school and you never practice, so will it be. So it's not based on the fact that you actually practice or not, or you practice law or not. It is a determinant of the powers that be. And that was why some people can tell a sitting governor in Nigeria that you're not coming back the second time. And he lost. So, but there are things that will only happen in Nigeria. Just like the way I told you that it is in Nigeria, I read that monkey swallowed money, snake swallowed money. You can give me one country that it has happened since you've grown as an adult over 30. I have not read about any country. I have not seen. But if you can please enlighten me so I'll know that for today. Like, oh, it has happened in another country. But is there anything that you cannot hear that happens from Nigeria? Those are the questions we keep asking. So when you say the judiciary is not majorly the problem is so much that the judiciary is just part or one of the problem that the system have made it the way it seems, and there is really nothing anybody can do about it. The first
Yeah.
reform I think should come is from the electoral system.
Now, you cited the electoral system. It's the same executive that will appoint or elect, nominate the, what do you call it, the chairman of the electoral board. So, what hope can we have that even the same corrupt executive who has intention of perpetuating themselves within the corridor of power, do you think they will go against their own political interests in electing or appointing someone who is not partisan, non-partisan chairman to or boss to head such a independent body, independent in quotes? So how do we get that solved? They are the ones that will appoint or nominate, and eventually, if that cycle continues, what hope for Nigeria?
Okay. Let me even come in with that. You see, the last election showed that if the electoral reform was properly done and INEC was clearly given a clear role, transmission of election results should only be by transmission. That election probably, although Nigeria is a very funny country whereby you expect manipulation, might not have turned out the way it is. Let me give you a quick example. When people talk to defend Nigeria, sometimes in exemplification of common stupidity in public space, it becomes a mockery issue. The same machine we use, the same system India used in conducting the election. India has a population of over 1.2 billion. So more than times 5 of Nigeria's population. And if you check the timing of the release, sometimes Nigeria is good, or some people defending the system is good as exemplifying their level of intellectual state in public space, and people laugh. Do you know that there was a Nigerian IT guy that I met in one of my trips who was part of the people who work with the company that does a back-end IT stuff for India in Nigeria? And immediately after the election, you wouldn't have the jamboree that happened in Nigeria happening in India with a population that is more than times 5 of Nigeria. So if that electoral reform was properly done, we wouldn't have gotten the mess we had in that last election.
What exactly do you think was the lapses, or is it human factors? Because we learned that
It's a combination
they
of the
allegedly
personnels.
shut down the servers.
No, it was obvious the election was turning out somewhere and it would be shut down. Some people predicted it before then. Let me tell you, before that election, there were 3 predictions. Olisa Agbakuba said it publicly that about the issue of the Federal Capital Territory. If you remember, before the election, you see, every manipulation that will be used, even in election, there are people who have seen the future. They are proactive and understand Nigeria. They normally come out to say it if you're following the news. But this Agbakuba first already saw that there might be a chaos, considering how the campaign was going, and there might be a tie. Instead of, he even wrote, I think he wrote to INEC, instead of addressing those issues. Do you know what they did? They swept it under the carpet, because if they would have addressed that issue before the election might not turn out the way it ended at the end of the day. Secondly, people already predicted that at a point will come, the transmission will not work, that INEC will shut it down. And if you check on Twitter, before the election, people wrote and asked questions, even asking Festus Okoye, which is the voter education, is it spokesperson of INEC, question related. So nothing really happened that was not speculated in that election. And for me, I think the election was massively rigged to favor the status quo politicians. Even before the election, you have the the likes of Akpabio and Farouk Lawan. Imagine, even when the Electoral Act was clear. So after the election, you have the bookatualization of the judiciary. So there is nothing really hidden that Dele Farotimi said in the book that is not real. It is only haters of Nigeria who want you to now sugarcoat things that are.
Now, any hope in 2027 to address or correct these anomalies, especially when it has to do with the electoral body, the INEC uh, in its entirety? Would they have a place to address those myriads of problems? Because people have lost confidence in the electoral system.
Oh, sorry
Would
about
there be any
okay.
would there be any possibility of redeeming the battered image of the electoral empire comes 2027 should Nigeria remain as an entity? Because with the build-up, the sentiments, the acrimonies from the north down to the south, the agitations, of course, could possibly put
No,
an end to
Mr.
the country.
Chigozie, no, there's nothing that is putting an end to the country. Nigerians are not ready to take to really fight for a good country. So they are still joking, especially majority of the people living there. Because the leaders know that the concept of divide and rule works very well. So there's really nothing new that's going to happen in 20. Save this video. There's nothing new that's going to happen in 2027. Tinubu said, I'm already there. When they asked him in the interview, the media chat, that your media houses that are the political media houses in Nigeria went to ask him, he said, I'm already predict a feeling state. And there are components or characteristics of a feeling state. So there is really nothing new that is going to happen come 2027.
I
And
want to seek your
that is why
okay.
if you that
Yeah,
is
go
why
ahead.
for those who have their ways, they are finding alternative options to move away from the system because
I
they
want
have
to
studied it.
exactly. I want to get your opinion regarding the position of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra that have been incarcerated, of course, for more than 4 years now. He came up to challenge the Nigerian legal jurisprudence that, of course, even the law students, that let them come up with any precedence that justifies the continued detention of an accused that was set free or acquitted or discharged by compelling, of course, or giving an order of stay of execution. So, what is your own perspective in terms of legal
It's a mere political political. The case already in the
persecution?
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is unnecessary, and I think it's just persecution. Now let's assume Nnamdi Kanu has done something that we've not seen in Nigeria. Let me start from the Niger Delta region where I come from. The likes of Asari Dokubo was also persecuted or prosecuted. I don't know what to use because in Nigeria there are thin lines in between. You can face both at some times. So and the courts made a clear statement, and he won that case. The similar offense was used against Omoyele Sowore. Go and read the charts. I mean the charges. Similar case was used against Sunday Igboho. Even they got to Benin Republic. Same similar case, felony and all those their systemic for persecution they use. Similar charges was filed against the likes of. In fact, let's even compare what happened with Boko Haram. The Boko Haram members, they've given most of them pardon. Some of them are in your military. So, sorry, I'm not in Nigeria. So, then your country's armed forces, military, and they've been forgiven and they've been reintegrated. It's on the news. It's not an hidden issue. So, let's assume Nnamdi Kanu too, like every other person. The same hand that was used in squashing out similar suits, same courts, should have thrown those cases away, just like every other person who had similar suit, they are working freely. And just like Boko Haram members that also have been integrated to the society. So why not? It's because it's an Igbo man. That's my personal opinion. That's what I see. Because I'm not an Igbo person. And coincidentally, I'm in Nigeria and I'm from the Niger Delta, but I've been able to mix around with Igbos and Yorubas. And directly and indirectly, maybe I understand a little of the both languages. But the Nigeria that I'm seeing, there is an Igbophobia. Take it or leave it. You can decide to do anything with that. And it's obvious there is an Igbophobia. So we can pretend to talk about oneness of a nation. We can be hypocritical enough to pretend as if we don't understand the injustices, even when the fact is glaring in our eyes. Because how do you conceptualize a democracy from 1999 to 2023 or 2025? And the major ethnic group, even Niger Delta, Bayelsa, 8 local government, they produce a president. And uh, the system that pretends to be, we are pretending as a unified country. We are one. The false oneness, the hypocritical one in Nigeria, cannot use common sense to say, in order for peace, equity, fairness, and justice to prevail, which is the conditional requirement of the principle of federal character for everybody to be able to say, okay, we've had an Obasanjo president from Europe. We have Jonathan from South South. That's from the South. The two sides of the South, we've had Jonathan and Obasanjo, in all fairness. We've even had Oshibaju as a vice president. Jonathan also was a vice president from the South South. Why not say, take the presidency to the Southeast? Even for once, We've had the likes of Namadi Sambo from the north. We've had the likes of Musa. We've had the likes of President Muhammadu Buhari. We have the likes of, to mention a few, I'm just concentrating on the president and the vice position so that we don't mix up the conversation. Why not even pretend? Let's pretend we want to, be one. We are pretending to be one. Say, you know what? This is where it go. But because the system has never been fair and there's an Igbophobia. So Nnamdi Kanu is only just kept there because he's an Igbo man. And that is all. You can take it or leave it.
Now, it's quite correct, but then don't you think that that would be the basis for which they continue the agitation, as the Biafrans believe they are not integrated within the Nigerian political and economic settings? Don't you think it will be a justification for calling for secession or self-determination? They want their own government, their own, of course, a political structure where they will be ably represented and their interests and fundamental rights protected, where they will be free to participate in the process of governance and economic development.
Let us be fair and be truthful to us. When would there be this integration? When is this integration going to happen? That the Igbo man will be integrated into the system? When? How many years after the Civil War? I ask you. I don't know when that will come, but if you ask, maybe till Jesus comes.
Of course, there is no
Almost
any
all of
hope in sight. There seems to be strong
all
conspiracy against the Igbo's existence and development, especially when it comes to political and economic matters.
almost all of the wars or all of the civil wars I've read about have ended in the whole of Africa, the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. It is only the civil war that has really not ended because there are still roots and agitation surrounding the question of what resulted to the civil war. So we love pretense in Nigeria. And because we're a country that was formed based on lies and exploitations of the British, so that remains the foundational operational pattern of Nigeria. We don't tell ourselves the truth, and people don't like to hear the truth. When it favors your tribe, your tribesman is there, or it favors the political class of certain people, it's okay, no problem. When it doesn't favor them, they come and hey, it doesn't favor. How consistent are we with the truth? That's the question I keep asking. So here's the bitter truth. In as much as I know some elites within the southeastern region have really not done well, I have to be very blunt about that. They just when you check, I was listening to Professor Ikechukwu, who happens to be one of my lecturers. When you check the economic activity, mention one as a student, one activity or one ministry that is in the southeast that is functional. If you come to the Niger Delta region, if, as horrible as that place might be, and even with the complaint, you can still see a scattered few development and some few scattered one, so that I'm not going to make noise, take one or two. When you come to the southwest, the whole of your port is there, the whole of everything, your seaport, your airport. So I'm not because southwest they are not more. When people are talking about Nigeria, not because they did wonderful in terms of anything. No, it is just the systemic structure of the federal system and the British that plays those things in Lagos. Not because the governors are more intellectual than any other governor, and it's wrong. It's not. There's nothing they're doing special. So when people just take glory and start dancing on social media naked, I just laugh. It's not true. If the British established the same port, say in Kano, and international airport, that would have been the most functional port in Nigeria. So the concentration will be there. The same thing they did in South Africa, Cape of Good Hope. If you read history, all the parts, places that British stayed and created those foundational bases were the most economic viable part of those countries till today. So when I see people jumping around Jambo, I'm like, illiteracy is a disease. The highest form of illiteracy is a man that is educated then decide to be pretending on the level, on the education of what is just glaring to him. That's the highest form of illiteracy. So for me, the part that concerns, I think my battery, I had to charge, the Igbos and
Well, it has been an interesting moment with Mr. Samuel Effiong, who joined us all the way from South Africa. Yes, hopefully we might be having his own parting words as time is not in our favor.
Oh,
Thank you
sorry
once
about that.
again.
Yeah,
You're
my
back.
network was a little bit crap.
Yes,
So,
just can you
can you hear me?
summarize and give us your parting words? Yes.
Yeah, so for me, the economic angle that was supposed to drive even development around critical parts of the country, either in southeast, you place one structure, in southwest, I mean, we already have, in the south, you have, you move in north central, the likes of Ajaokuta steel, based on your resources and what you have. When you check what is happening in southeast, you cannot disconnect the conscious absence of economic activity that is majorly driven by federal. Our economy is federally controlled. There's really nothing a state governor can do. When I laugh, when some bunch of illiterate or ethnic bigots to say, go to your state to do what? If you want me to go to my state, divide the country into 36 states now. Some, what is the population of Benin Republic? What's the population of so many countries on the island? Like Mauritius is 1.3 million people. I can
Hmm.
drive the whole of this island. Yes, 1.3. Seychelles is less than 700,000 people.
And, and
Split
and they
it.
are doing well
Everybody
for
go.
themselves.
What are you telling me? Check online. It's not even a matter of they are doing extremely better than some European countries. The children here from primary to university level are on free education. It's free medical, except you want higher standard of medical activities, then you go to private. It's free. The last time I had a crash, even as a foreigner, in one of I
Hmm.
was driving and the guy just drove careless, he was drunk. It was free medical system as a foreigner. As long as your papers are right and it's free. It's an African country, it's not Europe. When
Something
you
that is
go,
not obtainable within your own country, the country you call your own.
well, what are you telling me? It's free. It's free. A classmate of mine in Nigerian, can you hear me? A classmate of mine in
Yes.
Nigerian from here, after writing one or two research, they just shortlisted her for one organization in the UK. She went free. Visa pay. From Nigeria, if she had that opportunity, we should be here. You
Hmm.
know, you don't understand. If she had the opportunity in Nigeria or we had the opportunity, we would not be here. It's free. It's not, you don't even need the competition and the crowd and the ethnic bigot. No. Write your good research well and your good thesis. A professor read, they just send your recommendation. In fact, so easy. Electricity 24 hours is not the one. Very soon now, like we were in a class with a Nigerian friend.
But that
that.
That is the reality. That is the true reflection of what is playing out here.
That is it. So, in a nutshell, until people that are not even in governance are truthful to be looking at, not to tell you, go to your state, go to your this. The resources that most states even depend on are not even from their places. The reason why the port is functional that people are making noise about is because there is more crude activities and spare part activities in Lagos. In countries whereby you have like 3 ports or 4 ports, the development is even. You share it, it's even. They do it intentionally. Like the
To
north, you can do
develop
a dry
other
port. But
regions.
other regions. But when you see Nigerian system, it is not accidental that Nigeria it is where it is. It is a conscious effort
Exactly,
because there's a
as if
feeling
we are
that
as if we are caught. Some regions are intentionally have been strangulated for obvious
it's
reasons.
intentional. Nothing happens in Nigeria as an accident. No, nothing happened in Nigeria as an accident. That's what I want to say. There is no accident in Nigeria in the current condition that it is. And that is why when you check the narrative, when some people say, go to your state, not that the person is enjoying, it's exemplifying the innate attitude of the thinking pattern of their mentors in government. So when people say some certain things, not because they are enjoying, you might check out some of them might be very poor. But just because there is an ethnic discussion between them that you need to operate in this form of wickedness against a certain set of people. So even the
Hmm.
poor ones already knows the aim of the action of their leaders from their ethnic group in position. And that is why a Buhari can build a railway to Niger and you will drive West East Road from Port Harcourt to uh, Delta. And if you are not careful, if rain fall, you might be taken away by flood. And you might be coming from maybe Onitsha to somewhere in the east. If you are not, it is not coincidental. It is a conscious effort. But there is the irony. The people you want to give are now, they've developed a thick skin to the system. And they've been thinking on individual basis above board. And that is why when you check the statistics of the MBS, when they brought out the regions who had a higher living standard, on average, the southeast or the southeasterners still have the higher living standard than any other region. What a paradox. So if
You can
you create
imagine that.
development there, if you create development there, which is they will have a far higher standard, they are the only
Which will
region that
also
have an
benefit
average living.
other regions.
You do a
Hmm.
total average based on regional evaluation.
Wow.
So now imagine if you now reach, and these are based on personal efforts in most projects.
Exactly.
Is it the Okada assembly business you want to say government sponsored? Oh, innocent, they say federal government has started helping him. Before I will say something now, some people will come for me. I understand. Is it, in what sector are you going to say, yes, this sector in Southeast is federal government that actually pushed it? They opened this factory here, or they initiated this, just like your port, your seaport or airport. All these individual projects for one man is just for the businessman. That is not how to drive economy of a region. Now I'm in
Where do
federal
you see
government. I now
Nigeria?
like Chigozie.
Where do you
I
see
like Chigozie as
Nigeria?
an Igbo man. I now
Exactly.
like Chigozie as an Igbo man. I now come and use my federal mind to now support your personal business. I say, federal government don't do so. No, that is not how to develop regions. You don't develop regions like that. You develop regions by concrete physical project that is will create an international and local connection for the region. For example, creation of a workable port, even if it's one. You don't
Hmm.
travel from Onitsha or from Imo to Lagos, now start carrying the spare parts with transportation and now come to, I mean, it's funny. But that is how Nigeria was structured to work. Where do I see Nigeria? Where?
In the next 5 years. or
Waiting me
more.
5 years. It will be the statistical indices will be worse than what you have now. What are you telling me? Didn't I predict the statistical indices as at 2020 after the COVID 2021 that we were talking that dollar will move up to over 1,000 to 1,005. All the predictions came now. You see, you can't reap where you did not sow. E be like pikin wey dey read 1 hour a day. You know say no too sabi pikin, e dey read constantly one hour a day. And the other one dey play ball. The other one need to read 3 hours a day. Countries that the economy have gone up include sincerity of purpose, less corruption, and the united people. Nigeria does not have any of these features. So what you will have is jamboree of how your president have bought a new jet, they are building this for VP, they will pay for Hajj and pilgrimage. Just imagine.
Over 90 billion. And still,
So
there is no functional facilities such as refineries that will create job opportunities
those are just
even to those people.
okay. I think your network is a bit. Oh, I think someone Joseph Oladiran is trying to say something. I don't understand what his chat is all about. It's somebody who upload a video with Plaque want to be taken serious about what's wrong with Nigeria. Just imagine. I don't know what you're talking about. So those are just some of the things. And you see, I don't know who he's referring to, but I think everybody have a right to discuss Nigeria's issue as a Nigerian. So when people, I've seen this. I was with a friend in the UK. We were talking. We had a conversation. So with a group of friends in the UK. So there's this mentality that some Nigerians are more knowledgeable in talking about Nigerian issue than others. No, your perspectives remain your perspective because your sentiment and your alignment remain yours. So when people start talking about our sister Kemi, I mean, which directly and indirectly, I know someone who's very close to her. I told them that you cannot detach Kemi's experience from her. You can't
Exactly.
take it away. That is just being disingenuous. You are evil. If Kemi was supporting the system or lying against the system, some people will still hate on her. That with what is going on, you are still supporting this system. So
Mm.
a situation whereby you want to trivialize her experiences is bad. It is hers. If she decides not to talk about it, it is her opinion. And if you feel so aggrieved that she has said something you feel is against the law or country, you take that. But that she should not express herself as an adult. I don't think most of the commentators are more educated than her and a lawyer and a legal team. And this is somebody that does not hold the Nigerian passport. If she decides not to talk, she's not going to come and be begging for food. She's not going to experience police brutality in Nigeria. She's not going to be hungry in Nigeria. If Nigeria was good, she wouldn't have left and go and marry a British man and decide to stay there. We will have more children that whose parents are Nigerian, whose fathers are Nigerian. In the near future, we will come out and fight the Nigerian system and we take policies in international organization against Nigeria. Because you as a baby, it sticks in your heart. This is what the system has done to me. This is what they do to my brother. That is why we find ourselves here. We took the allegiance to be loyal to this new place because the former place failed us. We took allegiance to be loyal with our life because they gave us hope that the hopeless place frustrated us with. So instead of you to correct what Kemi and others who have been frustrated and been humiliated because of the bigotry, sidelining, hypocrisy, corruption, double standard, inconsistency, that stand to speak in world communities like Kemi. Who can talk among all those people that they will listen to that have the voice in the world? Kemi is the only one who's got that voice. And because she's not aligning to our, Nigeria, we love hypocrisy. Hey, and our pikin, no, pikin where you abandon, where you live, you can't expect, make she come down, they dance for your back now. You do it in Nigeria. People don't believe in those
Exactly.
mad philosophy.
Just as
The
this
world has
person
evolved. And we
said,
need to start thinking like an evolved people. The
should
world
not be
has really
taken
moved on.
serious, but he has made any meaningful contribution on how to solve the nagging issues within the country. It's very unfortunate. Thank you once again, my distinguished comrades. It's been a pleasure
Thank you
having
very
you
much.
here. We do hope, of
You're
course,
welcome.
more of these interactions in no distant time. I know this your tight schedules, you've been able to make out time for this interaction, this moment. I do so much appreciate your time and presence here once again. This is Call Wave
Thank you
TV,
very much.
where we uh, interact and discuss about issues of importance. Make your own contributions and the way forward in building an egalitarian society where everyone will be proud of. But unfortunately, that is not the case today. We do appreciate everyone, especially for being part of this discussion. Kindly hit the like buttons. And of course, in subsequent editions, we'll continue this discussion. I remain Chigozendebo, the host, wishing you the best of the weekend. Bye for now.